Hello.
Hi.
Just had to cut Lisa off there because she started talking about Chain of Gold. Because someone has started reading it. We have both read it before. I've read Chain of Gold 3 times. But then the other, like Iron and Thorns, I've only read once.
I've read Chain of Gold 3 times, Chain of Iron twice, Chain of Thorns once.
This is impressive timing. It's 3 minutes before the live. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Chloe.
Hello, Chloe.
I had no idea you was going to be here.
No.
Hello. Okay, so let's start with the usual. What did everyone rate it?
4 and a half. It wasn't as good as Lost Scrolls of the not what the
Red Scrolls of Magic.
That one. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I preferred this one.
Yeah.
Like they were more established. We had like other characters. Max was, a feature.
No, Lottie. I have 665 pages to go that I could have finished had my cat not been poorly on Monday. I am double sad. 1, that you haven't finished it, so you're not going to be able to stay. But 2, is the cat okay now? This is very strange because I can hear Meg talking in the next room before I hear it on here. I'm now going to go cook food and watch tennis. Enjoy.
No, you're going to film your wrap up, Chloe.
Cool now. Hello. Bumped this up for a 3-star and gave it 4 on my second read. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I feel like it's going to be 3 to 4 stars. Anyway, I'm going to go finish it and I'll catch up on the live later. Thank you for saying hi. I am glad he's doing better. It is absolutely no surprise I gave it 5 stars.
We are shocked.
Shock horror. I will say that in my wrap up, spoiler, I did sit there and was like, last book of the week, gave it 4.5 stars, blah blah blah, whilst holding the Red Scrolls of Magic, and I could be asked like redoing that bit. So just like the whole time I was actually being in this book, but there we go.
Just Megan, food first.
As long as filming is involved at some point of your evening.
Rated it 3, but I audiobooked it and I really didn't enjoy it. Yeah, the audiobook is okay, but it's not the best. It's definitely not the worst Cassandra Clare audiobook.
No.
That goes to Bane Chronicles or Tales from the Shadow Hunter. No, Tales from the Shadow Hunter Academy.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
Which sucks because that's my favourite book. But yeah, this weren't my favourite audio, but it did help me get through the book pretty quickly. Also, I do love how we both have the... Because the thing is, I actually have both copies because I have the old cover of Red Scrolls. So when they brought this one out with the reversible cover, I was like, great. I ended up with 2 because I have the new Red Scrolls of Magic as well. So I have 3 editions of these books because I also have the Rune editions up there.
On my phone.
I also have the audiobook as well.
The ebook is unscribed.
That's easy.
Love B.D. Wong as an actor and person, but not as a narrator. He made them all sound
I really enjoyed it.
Which, I mean, not entirely incorrect, but... Well, the thing is, in this one, they're not technically children anymore.
These are last parents.
Yeah, they have a whole toddler. Or baby. He's still a baby at this point, really.
I think, obviously, because there's a lot of, like, it's the way that he does the Asian accent. I think if it had been one of the other narrators that they'd had on previous books, it might have been slightly offensive. Because he does the accent quite strongly. Like when he does Shun, whatever her name is, Shunyi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed this. It was weird reading this because I've only read this one once and it was when it first came out, which... Is that 2020? Maybe? Was it 2020? I need to know now. It was 2020. I haven't read this one since 2020.
What a year.
I've been rereading all the others multiple times. And the worst city isn't what I call a steely.
That's how I pronounced it for the first 10 years of me having these books be a thing, because I did not have audiobooks of them. And I was like,
It wouldn't matter if you did, because they say them wrong in the audiobook.
I'm like, every time the word came up when I was first reading it, I just pronounced it differently. It was Estelle, it was Estelle, it was a Steely, it was just a steel.
A steel thing that jabbed people.
I'm like, I just sort of started substituting pen in my head. Do you know, just like, sort of like magic pen. I was like, sure.
I mean, it's accurate.
Yeah.
I had plans to finish this morning, but my kiddo had other plans. Thankfully, it's a reread. At least you can still join in because you do know what happens. This audiobook sucked.
Am I the only person who enjoyed the audiobook?
I didn't dislike the audiobook. It just wasn't my favourite. But it's really annoying that the audiobook isn't available in the UK. I had to be sneaky and apparently moved to Florida. Random address that I found on Google.
I live with my aunt. That is. I live in California, and that is how I listen to the Chain of Thorns audio.
I mean, at least the address you've got is linked to you and your family.
Yeah.
Mine's just Google Florida addresses.
I could also live in Washington. I could just live at my friend's address, because that's where a lot of things that I've bought in America have been sent to. I'm like, Delana, please hold on to this for me until the next time I see you.
I love that for you.
Oh.
Right.
So this one, I don't know if every single edition of this includes the little short story at the back, the Tessa and Jem one.
The ebook copy did not.
So we're not going to talk about it, but I will say I cried at that more than I cried at this book.
I didn't cry at all. Let me just double check the ebooks. I feel like I finished it and it came up with a banner saying, "You're done," and then I didn't carry on.
So I had a few blue post-it notes, but they weren't really crying. They were just like tearing up a little bit. Like there's a mention of Max. I wasn't okay. Like as in Alex's brother Max, not baby Max. And I was just like, oh, sad. Stop it. You don't need to mention this. And just like little things like that were just getting me. But I wasn't actually crying. So this one was quite tame. I'm quite happy.
Yeah. We've had a couple of months where we've not been crying all that much. So I'm happy with this because I was broken the other day by a different book. So I'm glad that this gave me a little bit of a break, not going to lie.
Just wait for the next 3 months.
I only teared up at the third one. I did not cry at any of the others. I was physically angry at parts. The emotions are visceral. But...
I just didn't like the mispronunciations and the accents, especially Jem's. Yeah, that is very fair. That is fair.
Yeah, it did make Jem's accent different, didn't it?
Yeah. So it took me ages to work out why I couldn't find it on UK Audible. It's just really frustrating why there's just like, it's not even like, oh, the newer ones aren't on there, because all of the Last Hours books are on UK Audible. It's literally just the short story collections and then the Eldest Curses. It's like, it's published in the UK, therefore it should be available on UK Audible. The Audible lists, give it to us, please. It's really annoying. I felt like some parts of the books were a bit clunky compared to the first book, and while I love how we have everyone, but it was distracting because this is supposed to be Alec and Magnus's story. I feel like it didn't take away from it being there. It's like they were just sort of in the background a bit. Like,
See, I think one of my issues is it's called The Eldest Curses, and yet where are the rest of them?
yeah. I'm hoping Black Volume of the Dead is gonna be like, and I can talk theories because,
and like, not that I want like Tessa to be getting in any more trouble. Like, she's been through a lot. Like, that's fine. But like, who are the other Eldest Curses? Why have like, there's been no conversation of like, I wonder who these people are. Maybe we should talk to them. They might be in trouble too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I could understand if Lost Book of the White was set right after Red Scrolls of Magic, and maybe they were starting to like look into it in this book. But like, there's been a good few years between the first and second book, and they're still don't seem to be having any inclination to start looking for the others. I'm like,
but they mention them all the time, and I'm like, who are these other people? Who?
But at the same time, it's just dawned on me, if you read all the other books, there's a lot going on in their lives. They've been a bit distracted at times, but I still think they should be looking.
Yeah, like, things are always going to be happening for the Shadowhunters. I think anything that impacts greater demons specifically should be a priority, because they're Shadowhunters and they fight demons. And you know what greater demons are? They're really bad demons. Demons with like plans and like follow through rather than just, you know, vague notions of destruction. Like, maybe focus on like them, as is highlighted by the end of this book, because like, damn. Anyway, that's my thought on why the series should maybe not be called The Eldest Curses, because like, where are they?
It should just be called The Eldest Curse. Yeah, because we're just dealing with one. No, my physical copy didn't, nor the audio. Oh, my audio did. Because I was gonna just like read it physically, and then the audiobook carried on and did the short story as well. And I was like, oh, okay, which is good because I couldn't see the page through crying. Oh my god, Becca saying the short story ruined my day in the best way, because I read this right after I'd finished my Infernal Devices reread, so that was great for my emotions. It was great. I will say we're not going to talk about what happens in that short story, because obviously some people haven't read it. But
I feel like I need to.
You do? It's just so cute. Do you want me to, after the live, do you want me to send the pictures? Okay, I'll send the pictures, because it's just so cute. I love the domestic scene between Magnus and Alec at the beginning before she ruined it. Literally, the fact that like Magnus is in danger though, and he's still just stood there appreciating how hot Alec is, and I'm just like, this is a mood. Like, they're in danger, you know, but no, I'm just gonna stand here and look at my boyfriend.
Like, Alec does the exact same thing later on. He's like, oh, so like, this is a bad situation, but like, Magnus looks really hot right now. Like, this is working for him. I'm like, does he have like glowing chains all over his body? Yes, but like, hello.
They're just so perfect for each other. It didn't take away from them as much this time. I think Black Volume of the Dead is going to bring them in, and I think Samael saying he doesn't have one is a bit of foreshadowing for book 3. Ooh, I love Samael. He cracks me up. He's just so sassy, and I'm like, I feel like Magnus should be his kid.
He's just like, he's so not serious. I'm like, my dude.
It's not at all scary.
He's great.
I'm like, I feel like part of it makes, like, part of his like just lack of serious attitude makes him scarier, because he just doesn't give a toss about anything. He's just like, Lilith is dead. I'm real mad about this.
That is so
but,
true.
Like, life's a party. I'm about to mess some things up. Like taking me into a whole new level.
He's just great. Samael was a mood.
I'm just gonna torture someone. What you doing?
He was just so great. There was just so many points as well. I think quite a lot of the like orange for like laughing in this was bits with Samael.
I mean, that's fine.
It's the Shanghai through a portal and Magnus' suit gets ruined and Alex is sad about that instead of the portal problem.
It's like, oh, I really like Magnus in a suit. It's a shame his suit got wet and he had to change. I'm like, you have actual problems right now, Alex. This is not one of them.
Priorities, sort them out. So I lied when I said I didn't actually cry. I did, because I actually have a note on it. So the first one was pages 35 and 36. They refer to Simon as Simon Lovelace, and then also do the little reminder of why he's Simon Lovelace. I was like, I didn't need to be reminded of George. Like, have you not hurt me enough? Clearly not. Clearly not.
I did. Yeah, I liked that Simon actually had like a moment of like, yes, he's suffering right now. Maybe this wasn't easy for him.
Oh, have we lost Meg?
No, Meg's here.
Oh, you're back. You froze.
Oh. I was saying something, but I don't know if you heard any of it.
I did.
I think we heard I heard a little bit.
It's just saying, I liked that Simon was going through things. Because, like, yeah, he would have been.
Can we appreciate the fact that Maris grew on me a little bit in this one? Just because the way she was just like, no, we're going to be fine babysitting. Don't worry. We're going to be fine. Yeah. I've had kids. It's fine. They come home and, like, doesn't one of them have, like, a broken arm or something? And Max, absolutely fine. Yeah, Max, absolutely fine. Just being his cute, happy, adorable self. And Maris is like, everything was fine.
We will do it again.
Yeah. I'm just like, I like how you start to see her, like, mellow a little bit. And I feel like we don't get to see her character development much, which is a shame. But, like, she has improved as a person.
She has.
She hasn't had a full redemption arc. No. But she's getting there.
What's that guy's name that begins with K?
Kitty.
Him. I love him. His voice is so monotone and so, like, it sounds like he could give a crap, but you can tell that it's just like, he does care and he wants to do a good job, and he's just like, I can imagine him just being there like, oh ha ha, you are so funny. It's that kind of character, and I just bloody love it.
I loved when Alec mentions how much he loves his husband, and it's like,
I mean, they're not married.
Still appreciates how hot he is, though.
Yeah. Like, they will be married, but right now.
Oh yes, Simon in this.
I know. It was horrible seeing Simon not making stupid jokes and, like, saying, oh, that could be a cool band name. I'm like, where's that Simon? And, like, he's struggling. It's so awful.
Because this isn't long after, like, he's become a Shadowhunter. He's still adjusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only a couple of months, isn't it? Like, chronologically.
Yeah. Yeah, because Max isn't that old in this.
No.
Mm.
I double checked on what I thought was a teaser for Chain of Gold. It's a short story, so I know what I'm doing after the lie. Yes. I will say that's another thing in the show's favour, how it showed Maris developed a character. I have nothing good to say about the show, so that TV show. So I'm not going to go there because I don't like it.
I think that I had some good songs on the soundtrack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Soundtrack was good.
Ruel was on my playlist for a long time.
Yes. Yeah, the soundtrack was good.
It also made me cry when I watched it. Like, I think that's more lockdown than Shadowhunters, but like.
That makes sense.
Was anyone else hoping that he and Maris were dating? Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I want her to be happy because, you know, she's not with Robert anymore, thank God. But yeah.
I was hoping that.
So the funny thing about this is one of my notes is Tian betraying them all. And then 3 notes later, oh, he didn't betray them.
It wasn't a reveal we had to sit with for very long, was it?
No.
It was literally 30 pages exactly between you thinking that they've been betrayed to them finding out they've not been betrayed.
And then Isabel showing up on a tiger.
Yeah.
That was epic Isabel-ness though, wasn't it? Like,
No one but Isabel could have done that.
no.
It had to be her.
But I also feel like people weren't mad enough at Izzy for like sacrificing herself in a hell dimension.
Yeah. It was like,
where was the sibling like, don't do that again? Like, what are you thinking, you absolute moron, sacrificing yourself in a hell dimension with hundreds of thousands of hells in it? Like, how are we supposed to find you?
Especially
You didn't know Tian was going to help. Like,
also with the whole fact that the amount of times Jace and Alec have done that, and Izzy has gone crazy at them, being like, how dare you, don't you dare do it. And they can't have the same energy for her. Excuse me. Rude.
I'm like, internally, Alec was mad about it. He was like, oh, I'm mad at Izzy. Like, I'm not mad at Magnus, who's concerned that I'm mad at him, but I am mad at Izzy. And I'm like, tell her that then. Where was that conversation?
Show her that you're mad because she put her life in danger. Jesus. Men.
she made up for it with the dragon, though. The dragon. She made up for it going in with the tiger, though.
Yeah, she did.
I love how she was like, I had to make sure that I rescued you with the tiger because I knew you wouldn't want to miss it, to Simon. And he was like, I appreciate it. Thank you. You know me so well.
True love.
Okay, yeah, the show. Okay, the casting for Alec and Magnus. Yes, okay, fine, because they are perfect. Casting wise,
Phil Magnus. Phil Magnus was beautiful.
I loved Phil Magnus. I would have liked to see more of Phil Magnus, but they never continued the films.
Yeah.
But
Godfrey Gale is insanely attractive. Like how? I don't understand.
But film Alec, I don't think is as good.
No.
He didn't feel like Alec to me. And Izzy didn't feel like Izzy. So I will give the TV show that. They cast well. I feel like they had too high a bar with Jason Clary to fill those boots. They tried. They failed because Jamie and Lily were perfect. But all the other characters, they were great.
I thought Jamie wasn't stereotypically handsome enough.
Oh no, he's beautiful. As someone who's met him in person, I can confirm he's beautiful.
But like, he's not classically handsome.
True.
Which I feel like this is very much like the typical, like, pretty, like, classically handsome.
But I also feel like Dominic Sherwood didn't fit that. I feel like Dominic Sherwood.
Well, he had more of like this chiseled, like, structured, like, facial structure that you associate with the classically handsome person.
Yeah. But just
Jamie's he's very angular, and I'm like, it's very aggressive.
But when you look at fan art of Jace, that's sort of like what he looks like. It's sort of like a mix between Jamie and Dominic.
Yeah.
We're getting off. Izzy having that moment was the best. Or Clary with all the crazy things she's done. Yeah. I know we've talked about how crazy Samuel is already, but that moment when Tian explains why he betrayed them, Samuel with his commentary. Oh God, not the G word. I forgot about that line. Yeah. This was only a little thing, but like I loved seeing like Maya, Lily, and Alec's friendship in this. Like it was only a tiny little bit. It was like I think it was all within like one paragraph or something. But just like you can see how close they are, and I'm just like, I love them so much. Jace Googling things. Get in with the times. Get in with the mundanes. He's clearly been around them for long enough. And I think maybe, like, obviously this is set before the Dark Artifices, but I feel like when they obviously first meet Emma and Julian and that before this. And I wonder how much of an influence they are on like Jason, Clary and that, with like mundane things like using computers. I feel like Clary and Simon are probably a big part of it as well, because Simon was a mundane and Clary thought she was.
Yeah.
But obviously like Emma and Julian that, they grew up as shadow hunters. And it's unusual for shadow hunters to use technology, but they did.
The joy of a lack of adult supervision.
New parents.
Not many benefits of being an orphan, but one of them is you can do what you want.
Also, I love how, even though Simon didn't like being a vampire when he was a vampire, he still looks out for the vampires. Like, I feel like he's always going to have that soft spot for them, even though he hated being one himself. And I don't know if
what do you mean the market's in daylight? Like, where do the vampires go?
Like, that wouldn't have affected him if he was still a vampire.
No.
But it's cute. And I don't know if it's because like they're friends with Lily or they're still sad about Raphael, maybe a bit of both. Because it's only been like 2.5 years since Raphael died at this point.
He didn't die, he just went away and he's coming back soon.
We can't say that for this book because Magnus had to tell Ragnar that Raphael had died.
Oh.
I was not okay with that. I don't need to be reminded, because then that just reminds me of Red Scrolls of Magic where Raphael's texting Ragnar, but Ragnar's not answering. Not okay. Although I do love how like Magnus is just so done with Ragnar when Ragnar's like, I'm gonna change my name to Shade. And I was like,
a shade of my former self. Like, oh my God.
I love Ragnar so much.
Yeah, he's like, you're not changing your name again. He's like, well, you know I am, because I am one for the drama.
Yeah.
I want to say it's around the 300-page mark maybe, but it's during the conversation with Samael. I love how Magnus showed how much respect he has for the Shadowhunters.
Oh, when he went on that big speech and he was just like, oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, because he was saying like he was fuming about the betrayal, wasn't he? He was like, how could you betray like your race like this? Like, this isn't okay.
But it was believable because of his relationship with a fairy, which I loved that. So I was just like, oh, my heart. Can't help but wonder how much is because of Shadowhunters like Jem and his relationship with Clary. That reminds Jace saying I googled it, but it wasn't actually Google. Probably both. Also, Simon is also friends with Magnus, who had a friendship with Raphael. Ragnar is also a mood. He is.
I was sad. Yeah, I was sad when Ragnar didn't realise that Katerina would have missed him and been sad that he had died. He was like, really? She would want to know. And I'm like, are you an idiot? Like, you've been friends for centuries. Like,
I think he had a moment, didn't he, where he just felt like, oh, no one would miss me anyway. I'm just going to go into hiding. It'll be fine. You know, people will move on. You know, people die all the time or whatever. But I'm just like, you know, you really are dumb, aren't you? Like, but I didn't like seeing him on the other side, like, you know, following. I know he didn't choose to do it, and he did it because he basically was going to die otherwise. But seeing that side of him going against Magnus and being on the side of like Shin-Yun, and I didn't like any of that. I was just like, please, can we get to the part where he's no longer there? Like, well, when's this gonna happen? And I'm like, yeah, right at the end of the book. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't getting some like reprieve from the pain early in the book. Who do you think Cassie is? Like, you've read her books by now. You know what she's like. What my favourite is when Jace is fully like, none of us have to do it. The Clay would send someone from another institute if it was needed, an adult, and Alex just like, Jace, we're adults. We're the adults now.
Like, you have been asked to take control of the
It's like you have a child.
Like, they've asked Jace to be in control of an institute. Like, what do you think someone else would be in charge? Like, you are the ones in charge now.
To be fair, I relate. I'm 30 and sometimes I'm like, I need an adult. Oh, I am an adult. Oh no.
Yeah.
I need a more adult.
I mean, yeah, I barely adult.
Hence the name of your podcast.
Honestly, I don't know how I get through life looking after myself. I don't know how I'm still alive. I just don't know how I've never been down a flat before. Like, I could totally get how Jace feels with like, I'm not like I'm not an adult.
I don't know. I feel like I trust Jace to save the world more than I would trust him to like house sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like with like big heroic situations, you can count on him, but actually normal life things, nope. He's gonna burn my house out.
He wouldn't remember to feed my fish every day. Like,
no, he would not.
A hypothetical fish. I don't have a fish, but like if I did and he needed to feed it, he wouldn't. Or he'd do the thing where he feeds it too much and it would just explode.
But yeah, I just wanted to feed it all at once because I knew that I would remember to do it every day. That'd be a Jace thing to do.
What
did we think about Shinyan in this book?
I think girl really needs some therapy.
I was about to say that. BetterHelp. There is this thing out there called BetterHelp. Call them.
Instead of just sitting fuming thinking that this Mercy is like mocking you, just like, you know, do some self-reflection and like improve your life rather than, you know, mess things up for everyone in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just even a little thing though. It's not like I've been dealt a bad hand, so you know, we're trying to get revenge on someone that's done something bad to me. I'm gonna take it out on innocent people and just wreck shit.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just a thought here. Just try and get revenge on the personal people that wronged you, not the entire human race.
Decide that revenge maybe isn't for you and just like go to the beach.
That's very much a vibe.
Write a book, knit a blanket, like drink some wine, like
write a scathing memoir about the life that you've had.
Become like a best-selling fantasy author because you're just writing about your actual lived experiences, and just like, chill.
God.
I feel like at this point, so much has happened with her that I feel like she doesn't deserve a redemption arc now. And it's not, not. I feel like deserve might be the wrong word. I feel like she's had plenty of chances, and I feel it's got to the point now in the third book, she needs to die or be imprisoned or something. Like, she can't just be set free like, you know, Alec had to go and do at the end of the first one. Like,
no, like if we're talking redemption, she can sacrifice herself for sure.
Yes. 100%.
But like, no redemption where she lives.
No. Now that she's this spider winged thing, I don't know, like this mutant that she's created.
Casually turning yourself into a greater demon because that should be a life goal. Like,
no. I think the course that she was going on, like, she went off it a little bit. I don't know if that was exactly what she was going for. When she decided to go down this, she took a wrong turn, and now she's off in woods somewhere. Like, I don't know what to do. Let's just turn myself into a greater demon and then disappear.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to seeing her again because she is going to be back in shit. Because if there's nobody, then she's going to be back.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. My note on this: Shinyan's a greater demon now. ... And also gone.
Yeah.
I was just like, don't know what else to put for this thing.
I'm just like, you know, like when a film ends and you're just like, is it getting a sequel? And it comes up with the so-and-so will return. I'm like, Shinyon will return to cause more problems. She's only gone 4 now. She absolutely is coming back to wreak havoc. Like, she's not going to content herself to like have it like a different world. She's not going to be like, oh, I'll just find my own Dio or like Eden or like Earth and just relax. She's going to be like, I want all of them.
I mean, she's committed. I'll give her that.
She needs to be committed.
Determination. No, these are qualities that are good in some people. I feel
Ambition.
like bit too far.
Ambition.
She's got it in
I'm all on her CV.
Determined.
What's your experience? So I've tried to take over the world. Some people got killed.
I turned myself into a greater demon. I think I've been through a massive transformation since I started my journey. I've grown as a person, literally.
Traveled the world.
Yeah.
You know, experienced other cultures. And it did not make me more open and accepting as a person.
What would you say your weaknesses are? Could work on my people skills.
Extreme hatred of anything and everybody. Power is my only motivator.
Why would you want this job? Power.
Oh.
You know, Shinyon would really fall for like the Aladdin gambit of just like phenomenal cosmic power.
Yeah. Oh,
day-to-day stuff, you'd be out of luck with Jace. I hate Shinyon. I get why she has a big chip on her shoulder, but that's not enough of a reason for all the chaos, and she needs to leave Magnus alone.
Yeah, she's like obsessed with him.
Yeah.
I feel like Magnus is still going to try and save her because that's who he is.
He did try, didn't he? He tried to reason with her and he consistently tried to be like, oh no, like, well, she'll change. If I have this conversation with her, she'll change. No, she's really not.
He had that moment in this book where she was like, oh, well, you're not going to attack first because, like, you're merciful. And then he was like, you thought? And just, like, slammed her away. So I'm like, maybe he's, like, to the end of his rope with Shinyon. And he's like, nah.
I also feel like he's less tolerant now because, you know, he's got an actual child.
Yeah. And she's also now no longer a warlock. She's a demon and they're different.
Yeah.
And she did stab him.
Yeah.
Twice.
And like she was very, very present when Alex stabbed himself on the thorn and Magnus had a real moment about that.
Yeah. I was not okay with that.
No, I was like, I know he's fine. I've read other books, but like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
This is strategically placed so that we know if you've read the future books as they were released, you know he's fine. Doesn't stop me being scared for his life.
No, they get married, they have another child, but like I feel like, well, you've just stabbed yourself on a magic thorn, my dude, straight in the heart. How are you getting out of this?
Yeah. See, it's very easy in the moment to think, shit, they're all gonna die. Like they're not gonna get out of this, and you do forget for like that brief second that there are future books where they are alive, and you know, like I said, they get married and that. But I'm just like, shit. I was like, no, it's not. It's not. When him and Magnus gave each other a look, and then like Magnus was accepting, and I was like, no. I was like, oh, they put the alliance rune, like they did the rune. Shit, he's good. Yeah, and I was not okay.
I'm going to be honest. I am absolutely terrible. I mean, we don't know when exactly Black Volume of that is going to be set yet. I'm hoping it's set, like maybe like between books 2 and 3 of the Dark Artifices, so that we know that they're okay. But I'm genuinely terrified to read the Wicked Powers because we've not read anything past that, and she could kill everyone. We don't know how it's going to end. She could kill everyone. She could kill some people that are main characters, and she has the free reign to do it now. I don't want her to.
And there'll be no coming back from it either, because it'll be the last series. Like, that'll just be how it ends.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, if of all the people we know, all the characters we've grown to love in this massive world, Julian and Emma, I wouldn't be sad if they did go.
How dare you? The Blackthorns and Carstairs have been through enough.
I'm just saying, like, at the moment, out of all the characters we've met, they are my least favourite people out of all the main characters that we've had. I think Clary and Jace need to just grow old and die of old age, and just be left in peace. And I just feel like, yes, they've been through a lot, but also they are probably the most boring couple that we've met.
How dare you?
That's rude. What do you mean? What do you mean, the childhood friends to lovers with the super angsty romance because they couldn't be together or they would turn into monsters is the most boring couple? Like, what are you talking about?
They're the ones that I felt the least
Family trauma too.
I just felt the least for them as people.
You felt more for the people who thought they were physically related?
I do feel more for Clary and Jace, yeah.
That's wild.
I'm sorry.
I'm curious as well, since the first is between TMI and this book is after Shadowhunter Academy but before TDA. I want it set before Wicked Powers, but definitely not after. Yeah. Although, if it's set after Wicked Powers, we'll know who from Wicked Powers is okay.
Yeah, which is why she definitely is not going to do that.
Reading this comment, it took me a while. I'm like, TMI, too much information. No, it's more instruments. TDA, like, it's yeah. It took me a while to catch up there. I apologise.
One of my favorite things was just, I'm sorry you've all followed me into hell again. Like, it's literally.
We've done it before.
Again.
Just a trip out with the friends, isn't it?
Also, when they're seeing all the different hells, hell of being pecked to death by ducks.
The ducks
like, wait, what was that one? The Herondale. Like, it's just, I want to know who hurt Cass. Which duck hurt Cassie? Because I feel at this point it's personal.
Yeah. The consistent thread throughout the whole of these series is the Herondales and duck fear.
Like, I feel like someone needs to ask this question at a Cassie event. Like, why ducks?
Yeah, when swans are so much more violent.
Oh my god, yes. And the honk is just terrifying.
Oh, I love that Alec reassures him he'll always follow him in town. They're just so cute. I love
Maybe
them.
think about your kid, but yeah, go on, yeah.
Doesn't Magnus say that? Like, we have a kid now. One of us at least needs to be there for the kid.
Yeah.
I really liked the little flashback to when Ragnar and Magnus first meet, when Magnus is a kid. Like, it's just like, you need a bath. Like, Ragnar's not pulling hard from the beginning, but like, I just.
It's like the Silent Brothers might not need to be, but you do. And that was the beginning of a wonderful friendship.
Also, the flashback of Magnus saving Katarina. Her about to be like burned for witchcraft, and he just comes in and she's like, you didn't think of an escape plan before you saved me? And it's like, that really builds their friendship right there. That is their friendship. Like, she's fully always like, are you gonna think of a plan to get out of this before you get us into it? No.
How immediately she's just like, you're an idiot, but you're my friend now.
Yeah. The one thing I think Cassie, well, I say the one thing, one of the things Cassie does well is like the friendship and the banter between all the characters. It never seems forced. The humor isn't forced. It's not fake. It genuinely feels like a group of friends that have that like they've been friends for centuries, or like they're really close. Like there's nothing that feels like a forced relationship just for the sake of a plot of a book. And she does that really well. Where
And
you can imagine him actually being friends.
And she does it really well. The different sets of characters. So like in Infernal Devices, like all of them, they just like bounce off each other so well. I mean, you haven't read it yet, but Last Hours, they bounce off each other really well. More Instruments, Dark Artifices, like no doubt, Wicked Powers.
I just imagine that's hard to do though, because it could just be samey with the relationships, but they do all feel different in their own way. But it's like all the friendships and the connections are different, but the way it's done is still done really well and like suits that each friend group.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And I like how like the main characters of each one have their similarities. So like Emma has some similarities to Clary, but she's also very different to Clary. They are not like just carbon copies of each other. She's very different to Clary. And I really like how she just manages to do so many characters so well. And I'm just like, how do you keep track of all them? And the answer is she probably doesn't, because they don't bother looking up family trees. Because when she started writing the Last Hours series, it's like I think she ripped up those family trees and was like, let's mix it up. Because they don't make sense anymore.
No, we were betrayed.
We were. I fully, after reading Chain of Gold, I fully spent ages staring at the family tree. I was like, whoa, this is wrong. This makes no sense. What did she do? She said, yeah, forget about those.
Yeah.
I love it. The only other note I have is about the epilogue with the Princes of Hell planning. Wondering if this is going to mean we're going to find out about the other Eldest Curses.
Yeah.
Hopefully opening up to that in book 3 when we eventually get it.
Like, if all of the Princes of Hell start planning something, then maybe, on Earth we should be trying to plan things also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a thought.
I feel like it's really bad that they're planning this now. Because I feel like it's really bad that they're planning it now, because I've just got these thoughts in my head. I'm like, we don't know when we're getting Wicked Powers. We don't know when we're getting the Eldest Curses book 3. So it's just leaving me hanging, really, innit? Like I'm just in a suspended state of what the fuck.
The final line. I want to talk about Lucifer. Yes, talk about Lucifer. Don't end the book there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Lucifer is Lucifer. Like, why have you left it there? Let's discuss. What the fuck?
I saw an interview of her talking about that tree and her cockiness of making it, and now she's like, oh. Yeah, because that family tree was done when she was doing Infernal Devices, and I'm guessing there was no plans for the Last Hours back then, because we're talking like 15 years ago nearly.
Yeah.
So
it was Clockwork Princess, wasn't it?
Huh?
It was in Clockwork Princess.
I think so, yeah. So yeah. Also, can we appreciate, was it the end of the last actual chapter, the one before the epilogue? Max says it.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's not gonna say it, and he says it, and I was like, oh.
It was very sweet.
And the thing is, I kind of hate her a little bit for the epilogue, because if it weren't for the epilogue, it would end on, the look Magnus gave Alec was golden as a coin, as Nephilim wedding cloth, as the morning light through the windows of home. That would have been so lovely to end the book on. But no, she then went and wrote the epilogue as well and mentions Lucifer.
I mean,
why, Cassie?
Like that opens a whole can of worms that I'm just like, the thoughts, like who, like I don't even have any like inkling of who the other Eldest Curses could be. Like, there's no. I think it could be them, or it could be them. Like,
We don't really know that many warlocks.
well, yeah, you've got like Ragnar. Well, Malcolm's dead now, isn't he? So, like Ragnar in who's now Shane. I don't know if that.
Well, he's back
Like,
to
I feel like
Ragnar now.
if Ragnar and Katharina were Eldest Curses, I feel like they would have been mentioned in the
Yeah.
book because they have shown up. I imagine that whoever the guy that showed up at the last book with the collapsing house, Barnaby something or other.
Oh,
Yeah, I imagine he's not one because I feel like he would have been mentioned again. But if like spitballed that idea, like we haven't been introduced to that many warlocks outside of the ones we know, and we can assume that only Magnus and Tessa are Eldest Curses out of those.
I'm wondering
is
if
it the 9 though?
the first,
Is it the 9 Eldest Curses?
Yeah. Or is it 7? I can't. It was a specific number.
Yeah, I think it might have been 7. It was either 7 or 9, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to get the first Wicked Powers book, and something's going to be hinted in there, and that's going to open us to Black Volume of the Dead. And so we'll get that, and then we'll get the other 2 Wicked Powers.
I feel like, I don't know. I was hoping going into Chain of Gold that we were going to get another hint of another Eldest Curse. Well, you two can't say, but yeah,
I don't know. Because when I read it, I obviously hadn't read these ones, so I don't know.
Yeah.
If I've been looking out for them.
We'll find out. Let's look out for them, and we'll find out in the next 3 months.
Something to consider.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I've read them before. It's not something I thought about.
No.
See, now you've got me thinking, and I'm like, what was someone mentioned or hinted at, and I've missed it?
Well,
Okay.
you know, you're doing a reread so you can find out.
That's how I am.
I'm excited though.
I'm
really excited.
I think you're going to enjoy the last hours more than you enjoyed Dark Artifices.
That's because they
were like. See, we have different opinions, and the Dark Artifices is my favourite series. And the last hours, as much as I love that series, it is my least favourite series.
See, mine at the
5 stars. Don't worry.
The Infernal Devices is probably my favourite series at the moment. The Dark Artifices is probably my second at the moment, which was my least at the moment. But because I know that the last hours is set not that long, like in between those, it's kind of like.
It's like the generation after the Infernal Devices.
Yeah, it's like within like 20 years after. Yeah,
so I know that like some of the people that I love in Infernal Devices are going to be around for a while. I was just kind of like, I think.
And the great thing is, you know Tess is okay, you know Gem's okay, and you know Will's okay because we've
seen him die.
Oh, fuck off! We don't. It doesn't die. It lives forever in my heart. Okay, it happens. Will never dies. He will. He's alive in here, people. Always and forever. My Will.
So yeah, like. Get to see.
I mean, there is a reason that I am on these live shows, and it is because Chain of Gold came out, and I knew that it was continuing on directly from the Infernal Devices. So I was like, well, I must read them. Like I had decided that I wasn't going to read Cassandra Clare because, like, oh, I'm past that now, and then suddenly I wasn't past it anymore.
To be fair, though, like to say that, like I don't like the phrase for it growing out on YA because there's still YA books that I like, but to say that I'm leaning more towards adult at the moment, the Cassie Clare books are some of the YA books that I'm still really enjoying picking up. which is strange but also good.
I feel like it's partly because it's already characters and a world that we know and love, and we know we enjoy her writing. Whereas if she brought out a completely different YA series, I'm not talking about Swordcatcher because that's adult, but if she was to bring out a new YA series that's a brand new world and everything, I mean, I would still give it a go because it's Cassandra Clare, but I don't know if I would enjoy it as much as Shadowhunters because, like you said, I lean away from YA now mostly, unless it's like an author I already know.
Yeah.
Or a concept I'm really excited by.
Yeah. It needs to be something a very intriguing concept, or like I said, an author that I love that would bring me back to like a YA book. But
or like someone that I trust has like really hyped it up, and I'm like, well,
yeah.
I can try.
He becomes immortal like Gem and Tessa. He lives on in Gem and Tessa.
He does. He does. And in
Look,
the
as much
readers,
as I wish he had, like, he didn't. He died.
No.
I shed actual human tears about it. Like, I was not okay.
Oh God, I hate this. I hate that part of it. Like,
but it's okay because he is alive in the last hours.
Yes. Oh, and then the Welsh accent I get to know about. I love Will so much. Out of all the characters,
he's a parent in the last hours. Like,
I know.
They're adults. They have kids now.
Yeah, he interacts with his son James, who is named after his best friend. Like,
My heart.
It's just like I've only just met James. I just want to like, I'm like, oh, you're Will's baby, so I need to care for you, Daddy Will.
My absolute favorite parallel in the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles is Will having a son named James and Jem having a daughter named Wilhelmina. Like, that hurt me. Like, it was so rude. I was like, how could you do this to me?
I fully was just sobbing through all of that. I was like, this isn't okay. Like, why are you doing this to me? I mean, yeah, it's adorable, but why are you doing this to me?
You're like, go away, but don't. But go away.
And Daddy Jem. We're here for Daddy Will and Daddy Jem.
We are.
But I have nothing else on this one. I feel like it's such a short book. Like, a lot happens, but there's also not like a huge amount to talk about. However, prepare yourselves with snacks and drinks next month and the month after and the month after, because we've got 3 chapters and there's a lot to talk about in those.
But then we're done until she's back off hiatus.
Yes. Obviously, I need to actually tweet about it. I'm gonna just throw in doing Swordcatcher because back when it first got announced, a few people were saying about it. So I am gonna obviously you don't need to join in for Swordcatcher. It is a completely non-Shadowhunter book, brand new world, fantasy world, not our world. So you don't have to, but I want to reread it already. It's so good. But yeah. I don't have anything else to talk about on this book.
No, I'm gonna head off and read something called Chain of Gold after this. I had to take a break earlier. I read a little bit. I read chapter 6 or 7, and then I decided to read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And I still can't remember why I decided to read that book this month, but I have. So I remember someone saying, "Oh, it's for this," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I need to read it too." And then I don't know why. But I'm excited.
But thank yous for both joining me. Thank you to people in the comments, and we'll see you next month for Chain of Gold. Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I like me.